Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. One of the key suspects in the Agrokor investigation, Ante Todorić, met with investigators this morning after returning to Croatia late last night. Todorić, along with his father, Agrokor founder Ivica Todorić, and brother Ivan, are among 15 suspects prosecutors have identified in connection with financial irregularities in the heavily indebted concern.
As I promised, I have returned to Croatia. I rejected all of the accusations against me this morning, and the investigation is now underway. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. He briefly presented his defense, in which he rejected the two crimes he is suspected of. He did not answer questions from the state prosecutors for the simple reason that at this time we do not have insight into the entire case, which is very broad, and doing so would have been very reckless on our part.
Meanwhile, the Zagreb County Court has adopted a motion from the state prosecutor's office to freeze Ivica Todorić's assets. The whereabouts of Todorić and his son Ivan are still unknown. Speaking in Brussels today, Prime Minister Andrej Plenković commented on the ongoing investigation, rejecting Todorić's claims that he was the target of political persecution.
I reject any kind of theory or insinuation that this is political persecution. I think this is clear to everyone. As far as the mechanisms when the state prosecutor's office or police are looking for someone, on the EU level there exists European arrest warrants, and with those countries that are not members of the EU, there are other conventions and legal agreements. Whatever the case, the only way forward is through legal means.
In Parliament today, Most MP Nikola Grmoja announced that all parties except the HDZ had signed a motion to review the decision to establish an investigative commission into Agrokor's demise, so as to remove the article dealing with the concern's financial statements. Doing so would allow the commission to continue with its work without interfering with a possible criminal investigation.
In so much as the Zagreb County Court approves the opening of an investigation into Agrokor in the next 10 days, the Commission, by force of law, will have to cease with its work, and there is no need to further discuss the issue. This is not a case of organized crime, but rather a case of falsified balances, which has been confirmed by the fact that all of the suspects have been released, with the exception of Ivica Todorić, who has assumed responsibility for the entire case. These people are today free to walk the streets and drink coffee, and if you can believe this, we cannot discuss the political responsibility in this case.
Grmoja also said he had uncovered new information during his own investigation into the Agrokor case.
I have received information that criminal charges filed against Mr. Ivica Todorić in the 1990s are currently sitting in the office of the President, which means that all of these institutions we have been talking about have failed us, including the State Prosecutor's Office and our judicial system, because absolutely nothing has been done with regard to these charges.
President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović wrapped up her three-day visit to Russia today. The president received an honorary doctorate from the Plekhanov University of Economics in Moscow, where she lectured on new trends in the global economy. She also spoke about the 3 Cs initiative and invited Russia to participate in its work.
In today's interdependent world, there is only one path we can follow, the opposite of isolationist and protectionist. We need to follow the path of cooperation, of building bridges and removing barriers to international trade.
At a summit in Brussels today, EU leaders, including Croatia's Andrej Plenković, agreed that not enough progress has been made in Brexit negotiations for talks on future economic trade to begin. The sticking point is how much Britain will have to pay to leave the Union. Britain has offered €20 billion, however Brussels expects €60 billion.
What I've made clear to my EU counterparts in relation to financial contribution is what I set out in my Florence speech, which is that I have said that nobody need be concerned for the current budget plan, that they would have to either pay in more or receive less as a result of the UK leaving, and that we will honour the commitments that we have made during our membership.
Parliament Speaker Gordan Jandroković met with Canada's Governor-General Julie Payette in Ottawa last night. They discussed cooperation in science and innovation and agreed that the large Croatian community in Canada was a strong bridge between the two countries. A twinning project aimed at speeding up the exchange of DNA and fingerprint data was opened at the Interior Ministry today. The project is being implemented by Croatian and Lithuanian forensic experts. Valued at €600,000, the goal of the project is to strengthen international cooperation in the fight against organized crime.
Which means that DNA profiles or fingerprints from a crime scene in one member state can be automatically compared with the profiles contained in databases of other EU member states.
At this time, the acquisition process is in its final stages, and the delivery of the system is expected in April of 2018, which will allow for the automated exchange of fingerprints with member states.
Taking a quick look at sports in the third round of play in Europa League football action. Reigning Croatian champions Rijeka registered their first win of the competition, beating Vienna 3-1 in Austria late last night. Rijeka is now third in Group D with 3 points. Italian side Milan is first with 7 points, followed by Greek side Ajax with 5 points. Vienna is last with 1 point.
Of course, it means a lot when you win a game like this. It is definitely good for our players and our club. Firstly, we are ecstatic to have taken 3 points. This is one of our better games. We are happy that this win came at a time when we've been registering some poor results. The win was very important to us psychologically.
And now the forecast for tomorrow. Predominantly sunny with some moderate and predominantly low-lying cloud cover on the northern Adriatic and in mountainous regions, where there could be some light rain in the evening. Parts of the interior and coast will see some morning fog. There will be a mild southeasterly on the coast. Morning lows of 5 to 10 degrees Celsius inland, slightly cooler in Lika, and 12 to 17 on the coast, will give way to highs of 19 to 24 degrees. The 3-day forecast for the interior calls for cloud cover, rain, and thunderstorms moving in from the west on Sunday. The east of the country will remain dry on Sunday. However, as skies begin to clear from the west on Monday, the east will see overcast skies with rain. The beginning of next week will be significantly cooler and windy, predominantly dry on Tuesday. The northern Adriatic will see rain on Sunday, spreading to Dalmatia by Monday. Moderate to strong southeasterly winds will shift to a strong northeasterly. Skies will begin to clear on Tuesday. And that wraps up the news. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night.